When your study plan has been built, you've ordered your books, you've bought your courses, and you're now ready to study, you need a place where you can actually execute your study plan at. And that's where building the perfect study environment comes in. And that's why having the perfect study environment is so important. All of the materials you have, all the studying that you'll be doing needs to be done in a place where you can maintain focus in order to take away the most amount of information so you can pass your exam come test day. Let's talk about how you can build the perfect study environment. And there's three main things that you need to do. First, make sure that you choose a quiet and consistent place for studying as well as for testing. For studying, make sure that you find somewhere, whether it's in your home, a spare room, or somewhere where people aren't going to bother you during a time where people won't bother you. Perhaps an office, whether it's an office at your work or an office that you even rent for a small period of time, or somewhere like a shared space, such as a library, a coffee shop, or any other place that's relatively quiet where you know you can go to get work done. Additionally, make sure that you tell family, roommates, or anyone around you in the place where you're going to be studying about your study schedule, your intentions for passing your exam or your certification exam, as well as the schedule that you plan to study at and on. So if you plan to study every Tuesday and Friday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., this is incredibly important because the more distractions you have in your own environment, the worse your studying is going to become and the less you're going to be able to remember come test day. Third, make sure that you study near where you'll be taking the exam if possible. And that's why I put the test schedule up here in point number 2, because here in point number 3, I want to make sure that you're studying physically close to where you're going to take the exam. Now, if you plan to take your exam somewhere like in a school or at a testing center in person, you can't really just go and take your stuff in the study room or in the testing room and start studying there, right? But if you're taking your exam at home, and many times in today's world, many certifications can be taken right from the comfort of your own home, you want to make sure that you study near where you're testing, if not directly where you'll be testing. So for example, this is my home office area. If I was to start studying for a certification and I was going to plan on taking that certification, I would study right here because this is the place I'm going to take my certification. I've got my laptop, I've got my microphone, I got my webcam, and all of those are required in order for me to take the certification. Most certification exams and exams in general nowadays, they require that you have your camera on and your microphone on at all times, and they're able to see your screen. Well, look at where I'm at. I'm in the perfect place for myself to study. And also, a major thing is studies have shown that if you study and you take a test in the same exact place, so you study in the same place and you test in the same place, your memory recall is going to be a lot better. And that's why building the perfect study environment is so important. And that's also why you need to be studying where you're going to be taking the exam, because your brain starts to correlate that location with that information. So memory recall during an exam is much easier if you're sitting where you normally study. That's a huge thing that not many people talk about, but many studies out there have proven that that is the truth. Now, once you've got all this done, once you've got your perfect study environment, you're going to want to keep things consistent, follow your study plan, and also have an exercise here for you before we end this video off. So the exercise for this one is to organize your space in a way that creates a good study environment. So once you find your place, I want you to customize it a little bit. Spend 20, 30 minutes moving things around, maybe organizing your different desks, your shelves, playing around with your lighting, maybe going online and maybe going on Amazon and buying one of those room dividers where you could divide your room. Making sure that you always have a drink, maybe a snack if you need a snack in the middle of it, maybe some headphones, maybe you even have something to monitor light coming into your room from the outside world. I want you to organize your space, and if you can, customize it to a way that's going to fit you best, especially if you have a place where you have private access to, like your own home or your own private office. You can really start to maximize your space in order to retain the most amount of information and keep your focus the best. So once you found your space, make sure that you organize it.